this video, I'm discussing, can a surviving spouse sell an asset from an irrevocable trust? So this would be a scenario where the first spouse has died and the second spouse might be trustee of something like a bypass trust or a marital trust that has become irrevocable, but the surviving spouse is the trustee of that trust and probably the beneficiary. And the short answer is yes, a surviving spouse can sell assets from an irrevocable trust. But here's the catch: once the asset is sold, the proceeds from the sale must be held in an account in the name of that same trust. So just because the trustee, the surviving spouse, has the right to sell an asset, such as a home or a business or stock, that doesn't mean that he or she can just pocket the cash. That cash then has to be held in an account that is in the name of that trust. So if you have a bypass trust and it owns a commercial piece of real property, the surviving spouse, if they're trustee, can sell that commercial property. And let's say they get $2 million of net proceeds after the sale. Well, that $2 million would have to go into a bank account in the name of the bypass trust. Or it'd have to be transferred into some sort of a brokerage account where maybe it could be prudently invested. But the money has to stay with the trust. So selling the asset isn't so much the issue. It's where did the proceeds go? It still belongs to that irrevocable trust. And the only way it's going to come out of that irrevocable trust is if the trustee is making distributions according to whatever the distribution requirements of that trust are. So if the surviving spouse, for example, is entitled to income from a bypass trust, but nothing else, then that's all that the surviving spouse can take. And then the rest will stay in the trust until the surviving spouse dies. And then typically it would go down to the children if that's who the remainder beneficiaries of the bypass trust are. So it just depends on the trust terms. You got to watch the trust terms. But most trustees in most trust situations certainly have the right to sell assets. But that doesn't mean that they have the right to take the sales proceeds for themselves. You got to look at the trust document to determine what their distribution rights might be.
Albertson and Davidson is here to help you fight for your inheritance. Check out aldavlaw.com for our complete library of helpful legal videos and articles from your favorite California trust and will litigation law firm, Albertson and Davidson, LLP.